Hello, hello, hello. And how did I get this layout here? We are back. We are back to another round, y'all. And I guess again, I got my guest, El Cid, my good sis. And we are here with episodes 3 and 4 of Love is Blind season 5. And baby, I'm glad she didn't spoil it for me. Cause woo, by the end of this, I was like, say what now? Say what? I got a whole bunch of little question marks all in my notes. There's questions for everybody. Question. Woo. But thank you all for joining us today. If you're here with us live, please go ahead and show some love in the chat by hitting us with something green, the little love hearts or some balls, whichever one you want to throw at us. We'll gladly appreciate it. And if you're watching this on the replay, please hit the like button. Then leave a comment below so I know that you were here and enjoying this with us. But yeah, let's get into it. Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. Let's get into this here mess. But I guess we can start with our thoughts on our first official couple that we seen, which was JP and Taylor. What's your initial thoughts on their actual seeing each other?
I think JP is more into her because I saw him grabbing those hips when they sat down. JP is all into her, and she wanted somebody blonde before the doors opened. So, and she already said about his gap. And like I said, ladies, a man with a gap has talents. Don't discount a man with a gap.
Like I said before, he either a big lover based off the size of the gap, or he a big liar. He could be both. He could be both.
He could be lying about his loving. Either way.
We will find out. Right now, I think he is a big lover. The way he was going in for the kill on them kisses and them hugs, I was like, boy, do get her out the headlock. Why are you like... You have her in a chokehold on the hug, brother. Calm down. And I mean, when I say, Seaway likes to talk about this line that y'all meet for the kiss. Mm-hmm. He was well beyond the line. I mean, his whole face was smashed into hers. And I'm like, sir, ease your way into the kiss. Just, I need a little bit of what they say, romantico.
She said, I like your face.
But she's still complaining about that gap. And he don't even have a big gap. That's the crazy part. He don't even have a big gap. Like, I think me and his gap is like the same. And like, I gotta zoom in a bit. So there y'all see it's not really big. It's not a big gap.
My thing is, she said she liked his face. I guess that's all she liked. And he seems to really be into her. Mm-hmm. But he can't spell her name. So I hope he got it right now. But she's a beautiful girl. I think she's projecting. I think she's projecting her self-image and all of that stuff onto him. And because of how she sees herself, she probably is not going to see how he sees her.
Right. It was weird too, because I was thinking the same thing. It's like, is your insecurities coming out so you're trying to find fault in him right now? Like, you're picking on this gap. There's really nothing else much outside of it. But baby, the way he was sweating, I was like, is it hot in this room, or is she making you hot, or like, are you nervous or whatnot? And I wrote it down. I said, I think he's just the nervous type. She said that he was quiet in the pods. And then when she met him, she was kind of worried that he was going to be quiet, and he's still quiet outside. And I was like, why are you afraid of silence? Why does silence bother you? And I put on my notes, it's her insecurities, because now she's thinking she's being judged. She's being something about the silence bothers her.
She's a kindergarten teacher. She's not used to quiet as a kindergarten teacher.
True.
It's the chaos that she thrives in, or as you said, her mind runs wild in the silence.
I also was looking at it and I was just like, you should want that. With the noise that you're dealing with all day coming home, you should want some of that quiet, some of that peace or whatnot. He's a firefighter, and the ones that I know, they're not the ones that I know. They're not all talkative or whatnot. They're action doers. They are about getting the business done or whatever, and communicate when need be. So this is just something that you might have to work. You might have to carry more conversations, or it just might be his shell of seeing you for the first time. And he might break out of it. Sometimes you need that other person to have something to bounce off of, to talk to. He's a boy of two sisters, and it's like sound like mostly women around him. So he might not never had to do much of the talking.
And he has a mother that seems to have had outbursts a bit with the sisters. So he may have learned to be quiet. So maybe he learned, I stay out of your radar. I'm just here to do what needs to be done. And just, if you don't see me, maybe, I'll coast by and you'll like me. Maybe he found that if he's quiet, somebody will like him.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious about these two. I mean, they're a good looking couple to me. They're definitely a good looking couple. And like you said, last review, we're going to see when the mama come around, how that work out. Because Taylor's look like she'd be holding in a mouthful. She'd be ready to pop off, because she's just like, yeah, I don't like the silence. She might have mumbled it a little bit right here, but she giving me, yeah, I ain't going to be having my foot in my mouth too much. When I don't like something, I'm going to tell you. And so we going to see as it goes forward. But I'm just serious. I don't know if she's the way he was hugging her and stuff, and it might just be me. Yeah, I mean, he was just like, come on, like the way he was doing it just might be me, because I'm just like, I like a little bit more passion in the way you grab me. I like a little more sensuality in it and all this stuff. I don't like to just be grabbed and kind of felt like I'm forced to kiss you. Some people like it. Some people like it. I know some people that do. That's their thing.
If you call me sugar butt,
you got to show some. You got to show some aggression. I ain't gonna be all sweet for you.
I am a man. You call me sugar butt, I will be grabbing your sugar butt.
Okay. Well, I hear it on that time. But he is definitely a man of action.
He is America's sugar butt right now.
He is Captain American Sugar Butt. Oh, child. Okay, well, shoot. I don't know.
See, we asked for the link.
Oh, yeah, I sent it to her.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent it to her. I don't know. It's her and the teeth thing had me dying, though. I was like, girl, leave that man in his teeth alone.
Both of them need, or he needs to teach her what that gap can do. I'm sorry. The gap is the least.
He looked like he can do something with that gap. He looking like he could do something. He looking like he was trying to do something with that gap right there.
As you said, the firefighters are quiet. The firefighters I know are quiet. I have to say, full disclaimer, my grandfather, he was a firefighter for 40 years. He was just like JP, quiet or whatever, but that quiet was, hit a whole lot of layers. And let's say that he was not, a saint.
And that could be another thing she might be worried about with his silence. What are you actually thinking? Military silence is a strong warfare. And in relationships, it's in the dark arts. We're going to tell you, in relationships, I had to tell my nephew last night, sometimes you got to go military silent on them. Not let them know what you're thinking all the time. Because see, when they know what you're thinking, they got you. They got you in your bag. But when they don't know, they all over the place. They scattered. They trying to figure it out or whatever. So sometimes you got to leave them in that mystery, that dark, and not say nothing. But for an insecure person, that's problematic. Because
for an insecure person, the mystery is the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to know that you like me. And she may need all these assurances. You know, she strikes me. What I thought of today is she strikes me as the young lady who probably was the captain of the cheer squad in high
Mhm.
school or in college, and she packed on the COVID weight, and maybe she has that identity issue right now with her weight. But she's a beautiful girl.
She looks great. It looks good on her though. She has to accept
Yes.
it. It's not disproportionate or anything. It looks great on her.
That white dress was amazing on her.
Beautiful.
Ooh,
Beautiful. Looks nice and cool, child. I need it right for now for myself. But I hope because what I'm picking up is that she's going to need words of affirmation where his is actually physical touch. Clearly,
yes.
we could see, and we're going to see how that dynamic works out because she wasn't resisting his touch, but she wasn't all the way for it as much. So we're going to see if they learn each other's love language to be able to give the other person what they need. Because sometimes
Right,
we have
right.
to find that compromise. I might not like touchy feely too much, but for my partner, I might have to allow them to show me how they want to love me, and vice versa. If I need words of affirmation, they're going to have to speak up a lot more for me. So
Right.
these two, I think, are just going to have to take the time to learn each other's love languages and just deep dive some more and get past this. I love you. I love you. I love you. I don't know you yet. I don't know how we loving each other, and I don't know you yet, but to each his own. I'm a person that wears my heart on my sleeves, but I don't want, if I tell you I love you, I know the reasons why I'm telling you I love you, and it's not I'm in love with you. As I have love for you as the
Right.
person I'm finding you to be in this moment. And I don't need you to repeat it back to me because I'm like, you don't know me. I know what I know of you, and I like that part of you, but know me before you tell me. And I
It
still
sounds
stand.
like you're saying I love you blue wall because that's all you're seeing is the blue wall.
Right. And I told you, I feel like he forced her into the I love you anyway.
Yeah.
He needs it. He needs it. So I mean, hopefully, and going back to his mommy issues, hopefully he doesn't look for her to fill that void of his mother's love that he might have missed out on potentially during those years. So hopefully he don't just overwhelm her with too much. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We got ooh, this about to be over. Ooh, this season already.
He about to bring the heat. I think he's the sleeper right now. I think he's
Mhm.
about to bring some heat.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting the feel vibe. Like we're gonna wait all the way to the end, and then we're gonna pop out with some crazy stuff like Paul. You know what? I never seen her as a mother. Say what now? We all crazy by the end. Let me see who we. I don't want to get to the couple, so let's get to the breakups.
Ooh.
Let's get to the breakups. I don't want to do Johnny and Izzy because they were actually a crazy breakup. Um, who else breakup? Okay,
Izzy,
let's.
I will do everything for you. Just give me a chance. I want to stay on the show. I want to go to Mexico.
Johnny, let's just talk about Johnny by herself for a second. Let's just talk about Johnny by herself. This little minute's right here, baby. Johnny is something else, okay? I seen all type of manipulation seeping out of Johnny throughout these last two episodes.
She's a
Johnny,
dark artist.
she is definitely a dark artist. And it's like you're trying to guilt Izzy into the fact you let Chris go prematurely. That is a decision that you made out of whatever insecurities you got going on. And then want to sit here and talk about, oh, I don't want to hold on to the safe thing because that's what my usual choice is. It sounds like that's not your usual choice because let's recall that you were in love with an addict and you rebound and married your rebound. So you ain't never made a safe choice in your life, sweetheart. What are you talking about? I think Chris would have been the time to do something different and actually choose a person. As she says, I want somebody to love me for me. Well, Chris was trying to do that. Did we miss something? I don't know. I don't know if I missed something, but it seemed like Chris was trying to love you for you. And you didn't want that.
Chris seemed like the good guy in front of your face that you don't notice. He's the good guy. He is there. He's checking all the boxes, but doesn't have the chemistry. Yeah, she keeps choosing addicts.
S. Yes.
And she could be the addict herself as well to trying to fix these men.
Mm-hmm.
She could be, okay, I'm gonna fix him and then he will love me forever because I seem like a stage 5 clinger and he will be with me forever because I have made him the best man he could be.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn around and say, if you break us up, you will always think about me. Now, if that ain't a dark arts line.
Baby, I think it all the time.
Woo.
I don't say it out loud because I don't have to, because I just know you'll be back. You'll be back. But to say it out loud to somebody, I was like, you was pulling out all the manipulation tactics out the bag, child. You was trying to win him back so bad. Why? He has proven he is not that into you. He's telling you from the jump, like, I have a whole nother connection. I have somebody else. Yeah, I have 2 other connections, but for sure I have somebody else just as strong as you, if not stronger. I have not told you any solid ground, no real stance on where I'm at with anything. And I'm hearing you tell this other person, you're telling me, as she goes to telling the truth, telling him how Chris is a safe choice, but I don't want the safe choice. I'm thinking, sis, shut up. Why are we telling them so much information like this that it can go one or two ways? It's not always going to go in your favor when you're telling somebody, oh, I think he's a safe choice and you are a risk. Do you hear how that comes off to a person? I'm a risk, like, and this person is a safe choice. Go be with your safe choice. Because if I'm one or two things, if I don't feel like I'm a risk and I'm an actual good person, I'm going to say, well, you know what? I don't want to break your heart because you're already setting us up for failure. That's how I'm going to look at it. And if I'm a risk, I'm like, oh, you're damn right. If you come over here, that's on you, boo. You knew what you was coming over here to do.
Izzy is the exciting choice. He's the guy that, is not just the life of the party, but maybe, gives you extra zing, but Izzy is, as I said before, the emotional F boy. He didn't promise her anything. He didn't tell her she was his top. Izzy has told no one that they're his number one. He just said, we're strong. We have a strong connection. I didn't hear him not once even tell Stacy that she's his choice.
Mm-mm.
And that's what you do. Keep your cards as close as possible. And as I said before, like Micah and Paul, until I know I have your proposal in the bag, I'm not letting go of other dude.
Mm-hmm.
Until I know and we agree together we're breaking up with our other people.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking up. But as Stacy said, I can't talk about Izzy because Johnny is territorial about him already.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the ladies' lounge, they know Johnny is territorial about Izzy.
Yeah. What's up, C-Way?
Hey.
What's going on?
Talking about Johnny.
What are we talking about?
Johnny, your girl, Johnny girl.
Oh, at episode 3 and 4, just in general.
We just talk about Johnny in general, but you can just jump in and chime in on whatever you want to say on her, period.
Johnny is unhinged. I don't know what they did with casting this season, but at least they showing us that these white people just as messed up as the black folks are. I do appreciate that. Because I think for a lot of us who don't have a lot of, non-colored friends, we're not really aware that their life is just as jacked up as ours. But now we see into that side. She a whole lawyer in love with a crackhead drug addict and
Probably has
messing
a
up.
shrine.
Huh?
Probably has a shrine to him at the house.
Exactly. Which at first I was with her at first, because the thing is that your childhood sweetheart, especially if you had a really close relationship with them, I had a really close relationship with mine. It over the years, it did become very hard to to kind of understand the difference in that love, especially when that childhood sweetheart love, when you guys are best friends and you don't have the other part of life that kind of messes that up. It is hard to kind of separate that from adult love. And so I did understand what she was saying, because I think even I experienced that. But I had to put in perspective that relationship, if placed in the adult real world with real life, which she even found out, because she said he ended up not being a great partner to her over time. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not realistic. Shout out to the people who are still with their childhood, their high school sweethearts. You guys are one of one, because most of the time those relationships just don't last in the real world. But where she lost me at is how she let that ruin her marriage. And then, even if all of that was true, her basically saying that she never loved her husband on national Netflix TV streaming service, I think was cruel. But even if we're going to rock with that, let's just say that's her truth and she's standing in it. Now let's get to the point where she thought that truth was going to be acceptable to anyone, right? Like, we done went through all the steps. Now we're at, that's your truth and you want to say it, say it. I can't tell you what to say or not say. But why do you feel like anybody is supposed to accept that? I'm supposed to marry you after you told me you was married to a whole individual that you never loved? That's not going to be acceptable. That's not going to be acceptable. And then, once she realized she didn't overshare, because I tell people all the time about this oversharing, you didn't overshare, and now you sliding down the wall in my Sean voice, just telling lies, a lie here, a lie there, a lie everywhere.
The thing with, and you know me, I'll be saying that there's no such thing as overshare. It's the way you share.
No, there's such thing as oversharing, Jay.
This heifer overshare, definitely. She definitely overshare, but you know how I be feeling like, I don't be oversharing my stuff or whatever, because I be in this place where I understand what it is. I understand how you may react to what I'm going to tell you. And I also understand how to tell you certain information that doesn't come off in such a way. The way that she told this whole story was, one, bad timing. Two, you're talking about this no longer living person is the love of your life, meaning that there is no room for another to come along and then prove it by saying, yeah, I never loved the husband that I married. He was just a rebound. Why would you call a man you married just a rebound? That's the craziest thing. You sound so unsettled.
She thinking that making him look crazy. That's making you look crazy.
Right.
You're saying this to a man. You're saying this to a man you hope to marry,
who also doesn't know you, and what he knows about you is nothing but pain and drama. And let's backtrack. I think the same thing was wrong with Ayana that's wrong with Johnny. These men don't want to lift your heavy burden. That's mostly women who want these projects and whatnot. These men, they see these women with all these emotional issues, deaths, trauma, drama. You see, they don't want that. They want to go with the people who are easygoing, easy breezy. That's why Jared wanted
whatever her name was, I don't
whatever
remember.
her name was, and he wants Stacy. Stacy. Why would any man sign up to do all that with you? Like, they don't want that emotional lift. That's too much. And I'm just not sure why women think like I don't know. They be like, let me be vulnerable. Let me tell all of my business.
Being vulnerable does not mean tell stupid stories. Like there's a difference, sweetie. Like being vulnerable is saying something about like how JP told his story about his mom and that type of stuff. That's different. That's something that it's a process to get through, but it's a person I can't really change because that's in my life or whatnot. That's being vulnerable to say that I have a maybe possibly unstable relationship with my parent. You know what I'm saying? And I might need somebody that is there strong enough to work with me through this process. But just to tell somebody, oh yeah, the love of my life passed away, and I found out while I was married to somebody else, and in that moment I realized I didn't love Maynard. I was only in love with. We're not doing this Eve Bayou reenactment on this damn thing. Like, girl, that worked in the movie. And it does not work in real life. That was a foolish thing to tell anybody. To confess out loud, that's something that should have went to the grave with you. If you felt that you did not love your husband at that time, that is not something that you just go running around telling anybody outside of your girlfriends.
And maybe hindsight, she didn't. Maybe hindsight, she looked at. There's plenty of relationships people look back at and be like, you know.
And that's what we said
I
on the
thought it was
last
love.
live. Yeah, you find out sometimes you get with a new person, you realize that the last person didn't excite you or make you feel the way that this person does. And you might even say, oh, you know what? I thought I was in love, but I didn't realize it until I got and found out what love really is or feels like.
But how do you tell your future husband you were never in love with your past husband?
You don't.
I mean, that math ain't mathin'. So you want this man to marry you. He's going to think, will she love me? Not that she does love me.
Like, can she love me? Is she capable?
Love is a funny thing, and it's not a definite on anything, because you can get with somebody and they can make you feel the greatest in the world. Then you get with somebody else and they make you feel even higher than your first time of loving somebody. It's a process that goes through stages with you. And it changes and evolves with you as you grow. So you should never base something, oh, I was never in love with this person. That's the craziest thing to say. I was never in love with somebody I married. Or I never loved them through the course of our marriage.
And that's screaming pick. And I think the really reason why he didn't want to be with her, because she's screaming pick me in the worst sense. Like, I know how I always talk about pick me's that are down on other women, but there's another side of pick me's that I think that we're seeing with both her and Lydia. You want to be picked so bad that you're just saying anything, doing anything, ending up in any of these type of relationships. You want to be with any man that wants you. And that is very detrimental. And when a man sees that you want to be picked that bad, because that's what they were doing in the men's lounge, they were comparing notes. Oh, she was saying anything. Nobody wants a woman that just wants to be picked by any and everybody. And I feel like that's what Lydia is giving. She's not understanding why people don't want her for her. She's doing too much to be picked. Like, she went from not wanting the man because he was the other dude because he was 24. Then as soon as she thought that he was running out the door, she said, I love you. I want everything, anything for you. I would do anything for you.
I think with her, though, is part of the culture. I know ladies in the Spanish and, Hispanic cultures sometimes are a bit more into chasing behind the man. I'm not saying all.
Yeah, because I am Puerto Rican. I don't know what be happening. But Lydia.
Yeah, because even Uche says she was 100% into him.
Still is.
It was she 99. She left that room, a little bit of room for Aaliyah.
Look, I'm glad we ain't on Kojo's channel, because they would have been. Look,
here she go calling somebody a picnic. They go find their way to the comments. They go be like, oh, see what on. Let me. They gonna be in the comments.
But as I said, Johnny did the, you will never forget about me.
Well, no, he never gonna forget this story. He gonna be telling everybody, this one lady in the pod told me that You're right. You're right. Telling a story like this, they will never forget you. And guess who won't forget you at all because he chose himself, but he probably will forget you after a couple of months. Is Chris. Chris gonna forget you. I was proud of Chris. I was definitely proud of Chris. I hope. No, he ain't standing on it. I seen the previews. He ain't standing on it, but. In this moment, I was proud of Chris. Okay, we're gonna keep it in this moment. In this moment, I was proud of Chris by sitting there saying, I want somebody that chooses me. Now, this is where I'll go with Sean and Kojo all day long. Be with somebody that chooses you. Chris, you need to listen to these two brothers, okay? She has not seen you, so it's not about you being unattractive to her, okay? This is about you and your characteristics, you as a person, you as a man. She finds you boring and unexciting and safe. And I don't even know how she finds you all of those things when she says, you make me laugh the most. You make me, what did she say? You make me laugh the most. You make me feel safe the most. You make me feel I have the most fun with you.
She pulled that dark arts card of trying to sell him all his dreams back to him. You always wanted to look across the room and just see the smile of your wife. You know, you just want to be at family gatherings. She used every Jedi mind trick to try and get him to her side. And I'm with you. I'm proud of Chris. But I don't know. Chris also, like everyone else, wants to be loved so badly.
Is there pick-me's for men, Seaway?
I do think so, but what's the space picked himself at the end, so
yeah. So right now he picked himself. I've seen him in the little clip, so we don't know when he popped back in or why he pops back in.
But it seems like when the group gets back for dinner.
Yeah, that's what I'm just hoping. Like how they do it a couple of times when they bring them all out and stuff. That's what I'm just hoping. What that is.
Izzy stared at Paul when they were comparing notes. I was taken aback a little bit because Izzy's looked like he wanted to say a lot.
Izzy was laughing in that moment.
He was just shaking his leg and just looking at him. I was like, okay.
But the one thing I could say that from what we've seen in the editing, what she's told Izzy, it was the same thing she told Chris. So it wasn't like she was going back telling one thing and telling another. She was being very consistent on her story. That's what Chris needs to look at is that she was consistent on how she felt about him. And he needs to take that to heart. And Izzy was trying to kind of like warn him, but you can only tell a man so much. Like you got to do what's in your heart. You know what I'm saying? If you feel what she's telling you is the truth, then do you. So, but I was proud of him for, saying, nah, we ain't about to play these games. You wasted my time.
I was really proud of him. I'm like, y'all can't be, y'all self-esteem can't be in the flow. You got to pick it up at some point. If someone's showing you that you're that dispensable that early, don't let somebody tell you, I don't care if you're a man or woman, that they don't want you more than once. I really stand by that. Even if they're a friend, somebody tell you, because people done got on me because I said I had a friend tell me she didn't want to be bothered with me no more, and people trying to figure out why I won't come and having a meeting about it. There's nothing to talk about.
Right.
There's nothing to talk about. I don't care. Only people who get the little comeback spirits, person who gave me breath, I will always try to fight for a relationship with my mama, my kids that I don't have, but in the future, my grandmother, stuff like that. But outside of that, if somebody done looked you in your face and they don't say that they want anything to do with you, what are you still standing there for? You can always work through disagreements. I'm not saying do this millennial thing where, people put up boundaries and cut everybody off in their life. I don't believe in that. But if a person has made a definitive decision that they don't want to be bothered with you and they told you that to your face, because you could take space away from people and do it in a kinder way, or, kind of figure things out and do it in a way where you're not hurting them while you're just taking the little space that you need. But when you open up the mouth and just cut it off, because she didn't have to cut him off so early. She cut him off because she thought she had Izzy in her bag. She could have literally just gave that a few more days. I'm not in production, but it looked like she had a few more days to kind of figure that out. She thought she had Izzy in her back pocket. So she bossed up, cut him off, and now she looking like Boo Boo. She should have evaluated a little longer before she did that. And then she went on talking about him when she did it. Oh, I don't want him, and it's safe, and da-da-da. You can't backtrack none of that.
His credit score is bad. He just
can we back up about that? So I got the fast forwarding spirit with Love Is Blind. I miss stuff when I get boring. When I get bored. So can you tell me what happened with that? Because I missed that.
So that part right there, she said that about Izzy after Izzy proposed to stay. Well, basically told her no. It was after Izzy proposed to Stacy or whatnot. So when Stacy came back, basically telling the girls that she was proposed to, this, that, the third. Now she's over telling this other young lady how Izzy is just not all this, not all that. But just a day ago or hour ago, whatever the case may be, you was all in for him. You cut your you cut your number one. First of all, Chris was your number one. You cut your number one for a possible. And now the possible is unstable. He just bought a plate. He just got this. His credit score is bad. This, that, and the third. But you wasn't worried about none of that. None of that when you was over there trying to be in his face, talking about I'll choose you. I'll do anything for you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
How she know about his credit score? What did she say to him? What did he say to her? How did credit score pop up? Now he oversharing. What are we talking about credit scores for?
We don't even know how we got to the credit score talk. I don't even know if that's true. We don't.
What's the credit karma of it all? Why are we talking about credit scores?
Maybe
you also did a research. She did a Simone on him real quick. She did a credit background.
She's a contracts lawyer. Maybe he was talking about his lease.
She done did a background check. She went in that laptop room real quick and got on there and was like.
And I love Simone, but this is why I was mad. I didn't like what she did. We should be talking about people's evictions, they credit scores. Some stuff got to be. We got to leave some stuff alone. You really ain't right talking about somebody's credit score because all of us could take a hit if the wrong person sent the wrong thing down to them bureaus. And we fighting for our life sliding down the wall trying to get that stuff off of our report. That wasn't nice.
Yeah, out of control. That's exactly it. You ugly anyway. You know it. You know it. That's what it is. Don't be giving Sean and them no daggone.
You know, that's their favorite thing. I hope they don't be.
And
right.
That's why
Izzy sharing. Don't talk to me.
And then Izzy sharing that Chris was sliding down the wall.
Everybody sliding down this wall. Apparently, we all.
Yeah, it was crying all over. It was waterworks everywhere through the episodes. Everybody was crying for every little thing. Oh my God, I told him my truth. Oh my God, I told him like okay, you told him. I was wondering. I was really having a moment for myself. I was like, would I been crying all over this place like this? I be doing some crazy stuff in my manipulative times, okay? Like when I'm being on my dark arts, I be doing some stupid stuff. So I was like, maybe one of my dark arts ones, I'd have been up trying to blink real hard so I can get a tear out, hit a yawn so it can roll down, whatever. I don't know. But I was like, I would not be crying off of half the things they crying about. Lovejoy, you want to talk about it, telling my truth? Girl, we've been talking about it for the last 2
What's the telling my truth stuff?
Just everybody telling their truths. That's all. Just going around telling parts of their lives that they probably don't need to tell just yet, or telling them when they should have told them earlier or whatnot. Because I personally feel Johnny should have told her story differently and sooner. If you wanted to share that story, otherwise keep it to yourself.
But no one's telling the right truth. Lydia and Uche and his dark arts should have disclosed that from the beginning. And I think the producers knew. I think the producers ask you, what are the names of the people that you've dated? Da, da, da. I don't know who they recruited, but they must have tried to get one of these people on the show because you can't. Where are they at? What city are they in?
Houston.
You know
Yeah,
how
Houston.
big Houston is for this. This is kind of like. What are the odds that this wasn't intentional?
I don't know what the odds were, and I was thinking about it two ways. Do we tell? Do we tell? Originally, and I got Lydia's point at the beginning. Like, if I say something, it could potentially mess up his chances, and I don't want to ruin it. But when I do see you getting close, I am not about to be trying to befriend the person that you're getting close to. That's what I looked at Lydia like. You are all kind of snake for that, because every 5 seconds you was on that girl. Every time she come, finding out what is he saying to you and this, that, and the third. However, she was supportive of their relationship a lot of times. But when I see you getting close, I'll be, and if I'm trying to be your friend, if I'm actually trying to be your friend, I will feel obligated to be like, hey, yo, listen.
Why did Lydia have to tell him she knew him? Why couldn't we just go along and let him recognize you?
That's her personality, so there was no getting around that one.
I would have been like, that's an interesting name.
Because the whole outing of everything, once Aaliyah knew, it was like, so now you want to divulge all of this information now. Of when the last time y'all slept together, the who broke up with who, all of this stuff. You want to tell all this information. What was the point of that now?
And she couldn't read the room. You saw Aaliyah's face just change. You saw that. Telling about the dog, the toys you bought the dog, it screamed, you can't replace me, or I'm still embedded in his life in a way that you won't understand.
So Lovejoy said that they had a choice to tell or not. I would have put it on the producers and probably didn't say anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Two things I wouldn't have did. I wouldn't have said nothing, because if I'm removed from that person, I'm not trying to get in their way of finding their true love. And secondly, I'm not about to be all up in Aaliyah's face every 5 seconds, acting like I'm an actual true friend to this girl. Like, you're hugging this girl when she's crying about this, that, and the third. You're consoling her every 5 seconds.
That's what made it worse. If it was a random girl that she had no interaction with in the pods, I think Aaliyah maybe would have been able to get over it. I think there's two things that made it bad. One, this man was holding a secret and he grilled her the way he did. I think that's what made it bad, and I think that's what she resented, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And then it's the relationship that Lydia had with her that was giving that lady off of Selena's. Okay, I still can't remember her name, but it was giving that. I think those are the two things. I really don't feel like it's Lydia and Uche's fault that they're in this situation, but the way they went about the big reveal is just.
And talking about too quick, too soon, and too many I love yous. Aaliyah and Lydia, how am I getting this close to you and we're in competition this quickly? That she could be an auntie to my children? What's going on?
How old is Aaliyah?
28, something like that.
Yeah, 28, and Lydia is 30.
It's 30.
That's too old for that.
Right.
I got friends already. Like, I'm not. I know we all kind of different. We different type of women, but we are still girls at the end of the day, to a degree, for me. But I'm just not going in here. I'm looking for my husband. I'm not going in here to make a best friend. Now, granted, if I do get a best friend, but me coming in here, you've been hugging me every time I come up in here, but you want to divulge all of this information once you find out he told me. Back up off me. Don't hug me. Don't none of this, because our friendship from here is we associates. We associates in this pod for the rest of the time, because if you was all in my face consoling me all this, you should have sat here and said, listen, let me just tell you this, or find out about a situation. Give me some type of clue. Do something to let me know that you was involved with this man, or keep your mouth closed when he finally tells me, and do not tell me that 3 months ago y'all was sleeping together. His Tesla is this color, that, and the third. She wants to make it believe. Now, first of all, and this is my other problem with her, because she goes and tells Milton that she broke it off and called it off with him. But I'm like, sis, You was at day one when you realized it was him telling us, can we just start all over and act like we don't know each other and go from here? So if you cut it off, why aren't you still cut off? Why are you trying to make it rekindle from here? As soon as I found out it was him, when I gave you that in the beginning, I'd have been like, okay, well, you know what? This date is done. Great. We already know each other. It's nothing we got to do here because I cut it off.
She cut it off by under duress. She cut it off because he wasn't paying her no mind. So she cut it off because she didn't have no, no choice. Yeah, but I don't think Aaliyah is being truthful 100% because she seemed like one of the people who have her own thoughts and don't disclose it, because she wasn't slide down the wall. She was out the door.
She took the wall.
She took the wall and she was out through the wall, through the door. Because how you go from that's my auntie to my children to you're on the run? So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad she decided to go on the run. But to me, Uche really didn't make this as bad. His thing is, don't be toxic interrogating me when you got secrets. But I think what made it was really bad because of what Lydia did. I'm not saying Uche didn't have a part, but Lydia getting all close to her, being besties with her in the pod is what made this so icky. Uche really not gonna know 100% what the women are doing in the pods. So
Lydia could have saved this by saying, hey, I think I know the gentleman you're talking to outside of the pods. Could have at least said that.
Something.
But she was holding water for that man.
But she should have held the water when he finally let it go. She should have continued to hold the water because there was nothing else. Yes, I dated him. It didn't work out. We not dating no more. And I think you're a good woman. And please don't tell that lady that this is why I think me and you are so much alike. Don't bring insult to injury.
It was so
also
weird.
Uche telling Milton, you don't need to propose.
He said that?
Yeah. He told Milton that at the table. When he knew, he said, Milton, I know your number one is Lydia. And he told the other girl, the other guy, your
Miriam.
number one is Miriam. And he told Milton, you don't need to propose. You don't need to leave here married. Knowing that it was Lydia.
Dark arts. Yeah, I don't know. And part of me wants to believe that Uche is not as bad as he's looking right now. I want to believe he's not that bad, but he may just be that bad.
I believe more of his story. I do believe more of his story involved in it than I believe.
He seems more honest. He seems more honest. But he's also 33 in Houston. He looks like he's pretty successful. So I don't know what he got up to him. I don't meet too many Nigerian men that aren't successful. A positive stereotype, as people say.
I'm about to say, you don't start this stuff over here.
A positive one. So I think
he's a lawyer and he has the app.
Oh, I forgot he's a lawyer. You're right. That's his career. So he's pretty successful. He's 33. So why is he dating somebody like, I know Lydia is very smart too. I remember she was talking about all her stuff, but
geologist.
Yeah.
And something else in science.
Aaliyah is the nurse, right? She's a
ICU nurse. ICU nurse. So
she's making good money too.
These successful men don't want to be on own. Y'all know that. They ain't going on.
I do feel he was being truthful after the fact. After grilling her and doing what he was doing. And I told you, I said, I don't like it because I know you did more with that girl than kiss. And so this makes sense to here we are with this Lydia situation, because these are the truths that you might have wanted to share up front some way, somehow. Like, hey, one of the girls in this thing I have had a connection with once before, but I just do want you to understand that we are done. Like something.
I would like the moment to tell him. I would have faced him, but anyway, I would have said, "Oh, you a recent smasher. You a recent smasher.
Right, more recent than my 2 years."
Exactly. That's what she should have said.
Oh, she was ready to say it when she popped off because she couldn't wait to let him know that she knew they smashed. She was like, and y'all smashed 3 months ago. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
But she ran. She ran. Is that going to be her relationship?
That is.
Type. Is she going to leave everything and run?
She did. This is twice. This is the second time. She told her truth and ran out the room. Now she's hearing his truth and running out the room. She's a runner. She's a track star. So that's just going to be her style. But see, she going to use it. She going to use this in her dark arts to get back or whatnot, because I told you, we said it the last time when she came back with the non-existing tears and the sniffles to get back in the good graces. Now you got the man on the phone begging, I want to marry you, this, that, and the third, bring it back. So we're going to see how that goes, because she definitely going to run it back just to be toxic. And I'm just like, you left, just stay gone. If you want to hear him out, that's fine, but you should have stayed. In my opinion, you should have stayed to hear him back out in that moment. But sometimes we do need a little moment of pause, a moment of silence to ourselves, some time away to process everything and hear it and come back unemotional to hear a person.
I don't think she wanted to stay in that lounge no more.
Right.
I didn't want to stay with Lydia either, because I've been ready to, like, in her face one time, like, girl, get out my face. You, every time I come in here, you hold me and stuff. Get off of me. So.
But you see, that tells you the difference, because he could do the cross-examination, and that was a brutal one, especially for someone you're opening up to. But she's, I want to say it's because of her profession as a nurse, as a caregiver, etc. She can't hit back like that to face him and put him on blast like that. But I agree with I think she just wanted to get out the lounge, get the hell on, left him his the journal he gave her. I wonder if that's how she left the last relationship, the 2 years ago she was talking about. Because we said yesterday, it take those 3 months. She probably was, if they were living together, she needed those 3 months to get herself together to leave. It was in the midst of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what was going on. But she could have just left everything and disappeared as well.
My biggest thing, though, is like, especially when I come back to Lydia, you was holding me while I'm sitting here talking about I don't want to be hurt. Not the whole time knowing that you're going to be the one that hurt me. That's the craziest part right there. Like, bruh, like, I'm telling the person that's going to hurt me, I don't want to be hurt by somebody else thinking it's going to be the other person that hurts me.
Lydia, I saw Lydia's face change when Aaliyah said, he said he can't be with anyone else but me.
Yeah, I noticed that face changed then, and I was like, wait a minute, what is happening right here, baby? And I ain't seen it yet, so I'm like, say what? Why are you giving this face like this? She said, oh really? Wow. And started looking around the room like,
Crazy.
I was like, what he tell you? Because girl, you made it seem like y'all had a whole secret connection that we did not know about, because that it was giving real to me.
Are we gonna hear those tapes at the end of the reunion?
We might. Oh, we might.
Netflix did their thing though with this cast, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Child, it's about to be some. Oh, child.
I'm just upset that they didn't show Miriam and the other gentleman that was at the table.
Connor was his name.
Which one's Miriam?
The other black girl that was talking to Uche at first.
We don't know what her skincare line is.
Yeah.
Who was she supposed to end up with?
A Caucasian gentleman.
We didn't care about that.
You know who else I was wondering, because I briefly mentioned over him, was the Carter guy, the big burly. I was wondering what would happen with him, because I thought he was going to be something, and then we didn't see him anymore. There was a couple of black people up in here. I was like, hey, what's happening? Maybe they picked them and was like, nah.
As you said that, Stacey was judgmental about Carter and the other guy, especially when she's like, he burped in my face, but it wasn't really my face. She was really offended. And I'm like, there's a
She was offended
wall.
by the not saying excuse me because she's like, I
Right.
burp all the time, but I say excuse me. But he didn't. So that's what she was offended. Yeah, the fisherman Carter. I was wondering about him.
So
She
you
did not
put some
comment.
fish in your photos.
I met a good fisherman one day when I was doing a photo shoot out there in the middle of the bait station. They let me go ahead and do it too. So I was like, hey, they be making some good little money now. Y'all play if you want to. And listen, if you like the free time, he be gone overnights, a couple of nights and stuff like that. He be gone for a while. So, if you like your me times, you can get with a fisherman. Now, I can't say they faithful.
Yeah, I dated a fisher.
I'm from Chicago. We ain't had no fishermen up here. I mean, maybe somebody fishing in Lake Michigan. I don't know what they do. They probably got some good fish. Oh no.
No lakes, no other lakes.
Yeah.
We got some other. I mean, we got all the lakes up here, but I don't know what people be fishing in.
They ain't getting the fish that he getting though. He out there catching y'all tuna and
catching
all that, some mackerels and all that other stuff. Y'all just got some little bass and a couple of trouts.
Yeah, I was actually looking up what type of like fish, like big fish they got in Lake Michigan. Because I'm scary now, so I don't want to be with no type of apex predators. Okay. Apparently they ain't got much. I swear I didn't know. Ain't no like big apex predators. I'm sure we're probably the worst ones out there. So.
Most of them are the big ones is ocean. That's open
and
water.
Carter seems like the type that he would be out there on those piers in Texas, right by the changing from fresh to salt water. Those piers.
He seemed like he go all the way out. One last thing about Aaliyah before we move on for her that made me kind of mad with her too. Because she was sitting here saying, I got to ask, I got to talk to Lydia, I got to do all this stuff like that. Then when I get to talk to Lydia, want to talk about, well, I didn't need to know all this information. Now I don't know what to do. Well, why the hell you go ask if you don't want to, if you really didn't want to know? Please, people out there, stop asking questions if you're not ready for people's truth. Just don't ask the question. If you're not ready to make an actual decision on what you want to do, don't ask a question. Now that takes me back to her asking, did you really want to be with Uche? Did you really want to be married? Did you really want to do this? Because you got your information and you ran. After you confirmed to the man that you was going to stand by him and do this, that, and the third, you was okay with it. The next thing you know it, you ran.
Too much. It was too much.
Yeah, I think running like that is not a good sign. It's not a sign of maturity. And I think she's shown a lot of immaturity with her relationship with Lydia. I mean, both of them seem like they have some type of arrested development because the way they were just acting with each other is like, come on now. And I feel like because I'm in that age range, but I remember not too long ago when I felt like my brain was on the verge of not being fully developed. There is a switch that happens between like 24 and 26 and then being right on that other side of 30. People may not think it's a big deal, but it is. Once you start pushing 30, you shouldn't even be thinking the same way. They're acting like they're in college. It's really weird. Like it's 28 and 30 not knowing that this lady has a very kind of unnatural attraction towards you. Like her it was too much. It was too much. I don't know.
All the ladies were acting like they were at the sorority house, popping the bottles and everything. But what I needed them to do as sisters or sorority sisters was I felt like I was watching Tyler Perry. There were too many exposed clip-ins.
You saw the clip-ins?
Oh, yes.
With the white girls?
Yes. Quite a few of them.
Because what's-his-face hair was nice. The one with the bleaching company, the one looked like she probably got some bleaching company or something.
No, there were a lot of blonde clip-ins exposed, so they weren't helping each other before they got on camera.
That's why Taylor was over there like, I felt like my lashes is falling off when she got with JP, like, because these heifers ain't trying to help me up in here at all. I had to run around here trying to find some damn blue.
You know, I don't be peeping the clip-ins. I guess I should. They were getting on that girl last year about the clip-ins.
The girl popping the bottle, the young lady popping that bottle, Taylor. Look at the blondes. There, you saw the dark roots, and you saw the bump of the clip.
That's why you need to, when you go on that show, you either need to get a sew-in or get some braids like how Aaliyah had.
Or get you a wig.
Or if you're, no, I think the wig is even worse because when you get the wig.
For them, they got to get them Kim Zolciak's half wigs, half whatever she be having. Not the first season of Real Housewives, first 3 seasons. Don't get those ones in the first 3 seasons, but her later wigs.
Yeah, because I think when I think of the wig, I think of that girl from The Ultimatum, how her wig and lace was looking. I don't think they be giving you enough opportunity to, because you got to think that camera is zooming in on your wig in HD. Like, you know how good of a wig you got to have to survive that camera?
That's why Elsie and the clip-ins.
And that's why from Ready to Love, she be doing the flip over hair, the half wig. You safer with that half wig than you are. Yeah.
You get the half wig, or you just do the little ponytail up, keep it cute and something. And if you can do the braids, get you some braids.
I would probably do the braids or something because I wouldn't trust my gluing technique. I'm not trusting Got to Be Glued on no Netflix.
Or do like Janelle, the sew-in.
That's so, yeah, look, Janelle, Jessica, they
did because she was comedy. Oh, well, she still had it in her hair, but it's a comedy. But
I think it's a flip over. I think it's like a flip over wig or sew-in.
She said on her live it was a sew-in.
Oh, really?
It had to be the way she was combing the hair out of it.
It looked good. Her and Jessica's hair always look nice. Their hair
don't want to be caught like Tori and have your clip-in showing in the bright lights. But yeah, if you watch it again, you just see it. I was like, okay, they seeing the blonde tracks. Usually they're talking about black women and their tracks. Seeing the blonde tracks this time.
I swear I didn't know that so many non-black people wear all these clip-ins. I did not know.
Oh yeah, they big. That's their thing. That is the clip-ins.
We
got the clip-ins from them.
You know why they're doing it though? It's because they're frying their hair with the bleach. I don't see as many people in the brunettes and stuff with the clip-ins. I see the blondes with the clip-ins, and I think it's because they're frying their hair. So yes. their hair is breaking off.
They have thin hair.
Our hair breaks off because
they have thin hair in the first too. A lot of them have thin hair in the first. They don't have like full hair, and they want full hair. So the clip-ins is just like the easiest, fastest little thing. Because I do know some brunettes. I know different color hairs with the clip-ins too, but the blondes do wear it the most.
I don't like clip-ins. Give me a headache. I don't really like them.
I don't use them.
I ain't learned how to use them, so there it is. That I would like to one day with the natural clip-ins because I be seeing the little naturals. But
yeah, I feel like there was a time where black women they kept on pushing those natural kinky clip-ins. I had tried it. I didn't like it. Like you feel like a push, you pull on everywhere the clip-ins are. Then you got to take them off at night. I don't know.
I feel like mine's would no because like especially if it's my hair is shorter than the clip-ins, it's gonna my hair gonna have the clip-ins sitting like this. It's gonna be thin at the end. It's gonna be all bad.
In the winter, I wear a half wig. Just it's like a hat.
Mm-hmm. Them half wigs are quiet as it's kept. Them half wigs are.
I figured out. I did we'll talk about these weaves and wigs a lot of time, but I
notice everything. It's a hazard of the job. I notice everything.
A full wig, I just throw a full wig. It's a hat. We all know about our business. I haven't been able to master the halves. For some reason, I'm gonna always have a little bump somewhere. Even when I was trying to do the half weaves, it was always a bump. I can't never get that nice little slick. It's always something bulging out. I'm trying to push it back down every 5 seconds like this. Like
bump, baby, bump.
That's growing up a tomboy. I swear.
Child, because you
I
see
never
them old
got my
pictures of
hair
me in the
together.
ponytails. The ponytails was rough. The ponytails was rough.
My hair used to look crazy. People used to bother me all the time. Christian, why didn't you do your hair? I'm like, I'm an athlete. While y'all going home playing in y'all makeup, I'm on a court and I'm on a track.
Mm-hmm.
Not that track, but a track.
And child, when I was on one of them two things, the ponytail was snatched out too. My hair was however it was running down the court. Like, shoot, I can't do it. The ponytail was giving me a headache. I had to take that out. Like, I was never cute. I don't know how Lisa Leslie be
But
on
we
there with
still
the sticking
pull.
all
I'm
of that.
pretty sure you still pull. I had hella dudes like me with my. I used to come basketball shorts, everything. Still, I'm like, I wasn't even trying to be cute at all. Take me as I am, okay?
Exactly. And that's my problem now. I'm still that way. I was thinking earlier, I was mad at freaking Tammy Roman for stealing the bonnet, taking the bonnet thing already. Like, damn it, I'll be up here on the bonnet right now. Y'all be like, y'all just have to deal with me in the bonnet.
Bonnets I don't do. I hate them bonnets. That's one thing I never did. I don't know why I hate them bonnets.
I'll be here in the bonnet right now.
Jay, them people who show up to Kendra G channel looking for love in a bonnet piss me off so bad. I'm like, what man do you think you're attracting right now?
Patting the hell out of that bonnet.
Nobody wants to look at that.
Nope.
I don't care what people say, what these men lie and say. Them bonnets are ugly. They just are. I'm not saying you shouldn't wear them, but they're not for outside. I wouldn't wear my straight backs outside. Don't put that bonnet outside.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you. We do be slapping, child. We be slapping. Mm-hmm. We be out here looking rough like a mother.
Getting that work in. Can we, Jay, at some point before I go, are you gonna discuss this honorary degree, or we gonna leave?
I said I wasn't gonna mess with Melanie, okay? Because you
should have put that in the title. That all the people would have you need to change your title right now.
Nah, I'm not talking about it because I ain't got my damn honorary degree to put up on the wall so I can call myself a doctor. Okay, I'm just gonna call myself doctor without it. To hell with y'all. I don't need no damn honorary nothing. I identify as a doctor and I have my rights.
Oh, we doing what we identify as? Is that what
yes.
we're doing?
At this point?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with an honorary degree or honorary doctorate, but I think it's becoming diluted. It could be that it used to be that you did something significant. Mm-hmm. You know, I hate to pull the card out, but most people would build a building at a school, humanitarian efforts. You saw something and they got an honorary doctorate and you're like, okay, I can see their life's work or what they worked on gave you that. But sometimes, you know, just donating maybe a library or a wing at the hospital don't mean you get an honorary doctorate. So I just don't know what the honor was for.
I think where I'm standing on this is, even if I receive an honorary whatever, I still didn't earn the title enough for me to change myself to it. The honorary degree does not make me a graduate. An honorary doctorate does not make me a doctor. I'm an honorary whatever. So if I want to change my title, I need to put honorary in front of it. It's giving me, if you guys watch the Black Lady Sketch Comedy Show on HBO, and what's my girl, Robin Thede, she has her one character where she calls herself Dr. Woo, 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 woo. She's basically a She-Tep or whatever. Or whatever. She calling herself a doctor, no PhD. Okay. That's what it's given at this point right now. Like, it's like, and what I just said, like, you know, it's an honor and it's a pride that you get to be able to receive something like this. But me personally, I just would not change my title to start saying that I'm doctor this and doctor that, when I know that people actually go and study for extra years, extra whatever, however long it takes to get that, yes, in that profession. You know, if you're a doctor, you're doing 8 to something extra years after regular school. If it's a lawyer or whatever, you're doing a couple of 4 to, you know, at least 2 to 4 more years of something to get it, and you have to pass a bar and all of these other things. I respect people doing their extra work to get what they got. And so I don't want to take that away from them by sitting here saying, oh, because these people decide that they want to honor me with this, I'm going to change my title to it. But
yeah, I mean, I've seen honorary degrees. I think one person who got it was Allison Felix. I forgot where she got her honorary degree, but she of course didn't go to college because she is one of the most decorated Olympians of all time and ran through from childhood until now, has done a lot of work to get women's sports with maternity issues and women's sports, and has done a lot. And it's people like her usually who I've seen given honorary degrees. But even if it's on a lower level, that's fine. You can, like Jay said, you can get an honorary degree for anything if the school feels like you've given them money, and they want to honor you because of whatever else. But I think the problem in society is twofold. You're seeing it with marriages. You're seeing it with people in this bouncing from job to job. You're seeing it with relationships. Nobody in 2023, I should say nobody, but there's an issue where people don't want to work for nothing no more. If it's not easy, they don't want to do it. Whether it's marriage, friendships, job, whatever. And I think the problem is that now people are acting as if that's acceptable, and there's no boundaries for that. Although I don't believe in putting negativity into the universe, because I believe when you put negativity into the universe, no matter where you post it at, right, you're going to get that back. Mm-hmm. And really, it's not really necessary. But since we're discussing it, since the negativity is already out there, the comments are already posted, I don't think it's proper at all if you have an honorary degree to call yourself doctor. And I think there was a time in society where that would have been shunned, and it wouldn't just be Simone shunning it. No one would. There was a time where that would not have been okay at all. I don't know why in 2023 now that's appropriate. There was even a time where if you weren't even an MD, you couldn't be. You shouldn't be going around calling yourself doctors. There was people with PhDs who people tried to check when and where they can call themselves doctor, because doctor for many years was solely used for MDs, not doctor of pharmacy, not Juris Doctor for lawyers, not any of these other doctors. Doctor was supposed to be for MDs because the respect for what they did was always supposed to be there. Now, I'm not saying I don't respect PhDs, and I do, and that's why I don't have a problem with them using doctor as well. But
here's
find it inappropriate.
Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I just find it to be inappropriate.
But
use of it.
I didn't see the actual post. I seen the response post. But did she actually post herself as a doctor, or she just said that she got the degree?
She was in a cap and gown.
She was in a cap and a gown. It was a little deceptive. I actually went to the post before I made my conclusion. I went to the post, and people were under the post congratulating her, saying, I didn't know you went to school. Congratulations, this and that. And so it appeared as if she had went to school and actually did the work. It wasn't very clear that it was an honorary nothing from the post that I saw personally. Okay.
But she doesn't have nowhere where she labels herself as doctor.
No,
in the post.
I didn't see anywhere where she labeled herself as doctor. And see, this is my thing too with this. Yes, she is in a cap and gown. And sometimes when they do give honorary degrees, they do it at a graduation time and graduation period. And so
her name, Dr. Melody.
She wrote doctor. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I can see where the problem comes in, because now we're writing the doctor on there. If she didn't do it and she just made the post saying I got an honorary degree, joke around, hey, you can call me doctor now, woo, 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 ha ha, kiki. I'm not opposed to her being a cap and gown because, like I say, a lot of times when they do give honorary degrees, it's during the graduation ceremony most of the time. And so, you want to be there and you go through the whole process just like everybody else. They call the honoraries out and they call them just like everybody else. So that's fine too. But you putting doctor on there for an honorary degree, like, I can see where a lot of people that actually went through the whole process to get theirs can have a big problem with that, because it's you taking away all of their hard-earned efforts, all they study and all the stress that they had to go through, all of that by doing that. Just at least call it honorary. I got an honorary doctorate, so y'all can call me an honorary doctor, whatever. Just stick to your actual title, what you are.
This 2023, people are allowed to identify as cactuses at this point. So there's people cacti. Thank you. Thank you.
You gotta be one. No, but if they want to be multiples, they can be cactuses.
Cacti is plural.
It's the plural of the cactuses. Look, I did horrible in English. Most lawyers are horrible in English.
See, that's why I ain't got an honorary degree.
Look, I ain't in academia, because one of my students would have been, excuse me, Dr. Seaway. I swear, I'm always asking my husband, how you say that word? Because he was a reader. You got to have your kids read. I didn't read much, except for the legal books. I didn't read much. You can always tell with people who read a lot and people. Well, Shonda's taking it too serious, but she has doctor on her IG post. I don't feel like on her IG name. I don't feel like that's taking it too serious. I mean, if you're identifying on your Instagram page, which is like your LinkedIn in many ways, as doctor this and that.
Yeah, it's no longer a post.
It's no longer a post. That's how you're identifying yourself.
I mean, Angela Bassett has an honorary degree. So does Ye. So does
Denzel.
Sean Combs.
Heck, what's her name? Angela. It's Black China. I'm trying to remember her. Angela White.
Yeah, she did get something.
She just got hers too. So, I mean, all right. Well,
we're eroding all types of boundaries in society, and that's what this comes down to. Again, I don't agree with necessarily Simone's way of going about commenting on her posts. I said that from the beginning. If you put negativity out, you get negativity back.
Apparently, it wasn't even on her post. It was on.
But in general, if you're a public figure in any way, they're going to caption that, and it's going to get back. Mm-hmm. And you can't really stop the other person from responding, because now you don't put that negativity out there. But talking about the subject in general, I would be lying if I said I don't believe Simone is right about the whole issue, because if you continue to erode our societal values, we won't have any. If anybody can be called a doctor, everyone could put it up there. The whole point of people going to school, defending their theses and their dissertation and all the things, because I don't know how to
student debt.
Yeah, it's a lot. I have no idea what takes them so long. I've never done a PhD program, but it takes a long time.
Camille just got hers.
I looked into a few.
I believe Camille just got hers. I think she just received it. I know she was out here earlier this year graduating from USC, and I think she just actually received her doctorate, finished her dissertation and everything. So this is how long it's been for her in this process. So, I mean, y'all could feel how if Simone was wrong. Y'all could feel Melanie was right. Melanie can be wrong. Simone could be right. It doesn't really matter. The point is Seaway is making is that stop watering down society by just labeling yourself whatever.
I'm not on any hive. I'm not on the
right.
The Huntsville show. And
I'm not a male fan, and Simone.
We have all called out Simone for stuff that she has done right and wrong.
Simone is
that one friend you got to be like, girl.
Simone gonna say what she got to say.
I'm gonna be with you when you're right. and I'm gonna call you out when you're wrong, because y'all know I really did not like that eviction stuff.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't
didn't like
like
the
that.
stuff with Jeffrey.
I did not like that at all.
Not.
Yeah, she's that one friend, and I just laugh because I have that kind of friend. You know, you could have said it differently. I guess like the Love Is Blind folks, she could have said, "Well, girl, you know, when I need to call out sick, I know what doctor to call." Something like that would still put a little shade on it, but still acknowledge, you know, you're not that type of doctor.
I'll just be curious as to know as what made her wrong and what she said, because she said she doesn't have hers, but she can call herself a doctor now. So that's the same thing.
We don't know. I watched my mother do medical school, and all the other people around me, all the doctors around me, the medical doctors. When I tell you the respect that I have for that profession, I don't even compare the profession I'm in to actually what it takes to be a doctor. I have so much respect. I say that all the time. Because I have so much respect, I would never play with the DR. I would never play, because the sacrifices that the medical profession, especially the MDs, have had to make in their life sacrifice to be able to take care of our community in America. Like, they sacrifice their whole 20s, most of them, and into their 30s just to have that MD. So throwing around the doctor this and doctor that is really low key a slap in the face. If I was a medical doctor, I would not be cool with that. Because
As you said, back in the day, you would have to put PhD at the back of your name.
You would,
if you were not a medical doctor. But hey, I need to call Spellman and see what I need to do to get my honorary doctorate. I'll change mine to Dr. L. Sid.
You gotta send some money.
Well, you can identify.
Well, they're looking for money. They gave Cosby back his money, so I know they're looking for money.
Yeah, look, you gotta send some money. You gotta send some money, because if I got a PhD in my house, I still wouldn't call myself doctor, because the people in my house would be like,
I wouldn't call her a doctor, but I for sure be telling you PhD. J, yep. PhD. Yep. You better put respect on my PhD. J, PhD.
Player having a degree.
Right. And not know any old degree, okay? Some of these degrees they hand out like McDonald's fries. Some of them, but the ones that you're really working for, look.
I remember back in the day when Emmitt Smith graduated with his degree in recreational studies. Like,
what the hell is that?
Oh yeah. Literary arts is one that if you want to just get out in your regular 4 years.
Don't talk about that. My son is minoring in that.
It's a minor.
Major criminal justice. He wanted to major in it, but I'm like, that ain't gonna get you nowhere.
I said I'm not gonna say who, but the person I knew wanted to do that because they just wanted out of school, and I said, "What you gonna do with it?" So you're gonna waste your whole school time, and what you gonna do with it?
Write the great American novel.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that part. We don't disagree about that part. It's negative. Yeah. It's negative for sure.
She got the reaction she wanted, I guess. Maybe.
She gave a response. She gave a response.
We seen the response too.
That would drain me. If I was a public figure and I had an own colleague, I personally wouldn't say it, because I wouldn't want Melody Holtz, her version of a beehive, to be all down my neck with the bull crap. Me personally, that type of negativity really would affect my day. Not saying it would affect me as a person, but I wouldn't want to read all of that. So I don't know how her spirit handles it, because that personally is just too much for me. Yeah, so I wouldn't. It does, even if she's right about it, which I believe she is. I probably wouldn't even be bothered to say nothing like that, because I wouldn't want all these people. Because there's people in 2023, people pick their side and they stand on it no matter how wrong you are. She could have called herself something. She could have called herself Barack Obama, and people would be like, well, she feels like she's Barack Obama. So, like, people defend anything nowadays. So people going to pick their side and they're going to stand on it. So sometimes it's just better, leave stuff alone.
Not the millimeters are the truth. Okay, child. I hear you, child. Do y'all, baby. Do y'all. Beam yourselves away.
I would follow the Kiki trend and make a shirt.
Listen, the only truth is for me is God and Jesus. Okay, so I don't know. Y'all do you do y'all stand for who y'all want.
Is that the name? Is that the name of her people? The millimeters?
Yeah, that's the name of her people, child.
No,
I don't even understand that name.
She's a fan favorite.
Yeah, I don't even understand the name. But do y'all? I don't understand it. But y'all like who y'all like. I like me. So I'm my favorite.
People gonna have to agree to disagree.
Child, I know. I mean, she got her stands, and they stand for her and stuff like that. That's what it is.
Yeah, she's just letting me know the name because I didn't know the name.
Yeah, that's the name. That's why I said that's what they're called. Millimeters. I've seen it, but I don't understand what it means. Like I have to understand the whole how we got there to be called.
At least if she dished it, she could take it though. I gotta give you, if you dish it, you gotta be able to take it.
Being on the damn Huntsville.
Look, and I love that. If you gonna put it out there, you better rock and roll. And she rocked and rolled with it. I can't be mad at it. Because I would have turned my comments off.
It sounded like a real underlining beef between the two though, because that response that Simone gave afterwards, though, I was like, "Ooh, we do not see each other. We don't see it for each other at all."
You got to be ready. With Rashid embarrassing. Rashid is just an everlasting embarrassment. So you got to have some clapbacks ready. Got to be ready.
All right, moving on. Because you just said derailed us from this whole thing. We hadn't even gotten into all our shit yet.
Back to your regularly scheduled program.
Ooh, child.
Milton and Lydia.
Yeah, let's talk about Milton and Lydia. Why?
So Milton, Milton is the
Lydia
one.
tells him.
Milton got the tea. That's the one that the streets are saying.
No, that's the one that you'd have brought the streets too. We don't give a damn about his ex-girlfriend that he broke up with before he got on the show. He was single. He was single when he got on the show. That's all I know.
That goes into his little nasty character because he already is not showing. He already ain't right in the head that he did whatever he did to them hair strands.
Now is that girlfriend the one he gonna be playing Pokemon with till 4 a.m.?
Well, I mean, Pokemon Go. He's still playing it. I didn't even know people still played that.
Oh yeah, they do.
I didn't know they was still a thing, child. Y'all, I was out here trying to unalive people, trying to stop in the middle of traffic to catch the daggone Pikachus. I didn't understand, like, what's happening.
Milton ain't ready. He's not ready. He hasn't had this kind of had to deal with, oh, I'm friends with your ex in the other room.
Can y'all believe that like 40 years ago, 24 was old to get married?
Mm-hmm.
And now it feels like a 24-year-old is a 15-year-old because that's what he was given.
My first marriage, I was 24.
Did you feel like you was too young, or did you feel like back then it was okay?
It was okay. I mean, it's not that far back then, Seaway, but
no,
I know back then, way back then. All them years ago.
I had to.
We act like we going back in the time machine.
All the many moons ago. Right.
Way back
in the time. Back.
The reason why I said it because you seemed like it was long enough ago where that it was normal. I didn't know how long it was.
It was 2001.
Not the BC, Grace. Grace over here talking about BC.
Y'all making it worse.
I had to see No, I was fine, but I got the lawyer's mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a lawyer, but I've got that, inquisitive, and I look at things. So, yeah, he proposed, and I was like, why? Tell me why I should hitch my wagon to your horse. And we had a frank discussion about it. Where we going, where, and everything. Turns out I was also having my oldest son. And we got married. But I was fine with it because I was mature. I was an only child, and I was, for all intents purposes, kind of the level-headed one in the family. So,
did you have a strict upbringing?
No. In that, my grandfather was strict with me until he passed away at 12, but he was preparing me for his departure.
Mm-hmm.
So it was strict in a sense of, this is what you've got to do because you've got to help your mother and grandmother through this. You have got to, at 12, stand. So it was strict. It was, playful. I learned a lot. I learned how to change a tire. I learned how to do a whole lot of stuff in the whole, tomboy wasn't just about sports. And basically, I kind of grew up fast. So Seaway 24, that was nothing. I was having my first kid. We got married. It was very much, I guess, for me, by the book, but I wasn't a head in the clouds person either. I wasn't. I was, hanging out with shady characters, learning all kinds of stuff. So I was able to just explore the world and just be a little free, but I was very much intellectual.
See, and that's what generation class would Milton fall under? Millennial or
Gen Z?
Gen Z?
Z.
Okay, so I think that's the issue too, because Gen Z has a more, for lack of a better term, spoiled life. Us Gen Xers, we ain't had no parents. Okay, we had parents, but they weren't there. They was at work, so we had to parent ourselves. We was out in these streets. We was doing a lot of things. We had to grow up fast. For them, and I'm saying this because my daughter is around the same age as he is. For them, they were more sheltered. They got to have actual childhood. Because my daughter actually had a childhood. I would be like, she need to learn how to walk to school. My grandma would be like, no, I'm taking her. Like, people was always doing something for her cousins, all of them. They were always being catered to by somebody in the family, where they left us to tend to ourselves.
Latchkey kids.
So it was more so like, I just feel like their naivety, I can't never say that word. Y'all know what I'm saying. Naivete is on a higher level because they didn't get that outside. Everything is indoors for them. Video games, TV, all of that. We was outside. We had to learn street code, be on the streets, understand street lights come on. You need to be in this area, this, that, and the third. Find your way around the neighborhood. Wherever you had to go, you had to figure it out. Everything for them is on the phone. You figure out how you get over here. All phone numbers are saved in the phone. If you lose the phone, you lost your life. Like, basically. Seriously.
Well, for my eldest, who's 22, I've had a mixture of it. I'm raising a young man and I got married again. You are going to learn some of the basic life stuff. And it's not to say he wasn't sheltered in a sense, like he always after school care or a sport or at grandma's. But there's some stuff like when we're in the country in Georgia, a pickup truck for a young man is normal. Mm-hmm. And my one thing to him, and he's in school full time online, but my one thing is, we get you this truck. You don't ever ask me for gas money. Don't ever ask me for anything else because this transportation is provided for. And he's kept with that. Mm-hmm. So it's all in how the mixture of what we had, Jay, mm-hmm. all in how we had it. Because I had to work and they had to let themselves into the house, when I'm at work and they got off the school bus, but it's a text message. Hey, Mom, I'm in the house. So I've had the pleasure of having that, but I recognize my kids don't have that street sense I have
at all.
My kids could not handle too well Brownsville. There's no way I could drop my kids, down on Linda Boulevard and they would navigate. Sad to say.
And that's what Milton gives me. Like he said he come from a strict home. I just feel like he's been overprotected for whatever reason.
Even the conflict was too much for him.
Mm-hmm.
He started getting stressed out by the conflict. He just seemed like he's about to fall out.
It wasn't even much conflict. It was just like the conversation between him and Uche. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to deal with it like that. And I said in the last live that I feel like he was bullied at some point. And so he's still trying to find his voice, which that's what I fear with Lydia, that he's never going to find it. Because even in the moment he's expressing himself about his what she called one of his biggest traumas, she's expressing herself, and then she just like, well, can I talk? Like, sis, he's expressing himself. You ask him about his thing, let him land.
But are you drinking that old man drink? A Manhattan is an old man's drink.
He seemed like he's a little bit of an old soul too, but and that's probably what got her. But the immaturity it's gonna come out, and that's why she didn't want to be bothered with him in the beginning, because he was 24. But as soon as she didn't have no options, then she was right back, and that just shows her desperation. Because I'm gonna walk out them pods by myself before me at 30 years old am running down a 24-year-old. When it's just not, that's just not gonna make any sense for me logistically, and it never works out well when you see that happening. Even vice versa, you're seeing now that even the 24, 25-year-old women are not ready.
Mm-hmm.
They're not ready based on some of the things that you said. I feel like the millennials, we grew up outside. We had the things that some of our 40, 45-year-old, 50-year-old we grew up very similarly. The problem with us is financially we've been handicapped. A lot of us, even with good careers and good jobs, can't get houses. Can't do so. I think financially is where millennials haven't been able to grow up, even though we were outside like the other generations and maturing mentally. A lot of us still at our parents' house doing stuff that normally, like my parents, they were able to buy a house at 21 with not even no type of jobs like the ones I had. It was just a completely different life. And then you see these millennials, and they're just, the Gen Zers, they financially aren't taking care of themselves. And mentally, they have this arrested development. Like they're just
everything is a problem. They can't handle anything mentally. Problem.
And you're seeing a big shift. I don't know what's going to happen. Something's going to really have to change, because a 24-year-old should not come off to me that immature in real life. Like if you think about life expectancy and where we're at, he should not be giving 15. And I think now 24-year-olds to 25-year-olds, even the expectation of their maturity is not there. People are making excuses. I see on Ready to Love, we're making excuses for 31, 32, 33-year-olds. Like, where does it stop?
It doesn't, because we're at that point now. I think Elsa said it kind of earlier, where it's just like we have laws and regulations and things that are in place to supposedly protect the children and all of these things like that. But what they're actually doing is making them like I don't want to say
stunted.
Yeah, their growth and development mentally stunted or whatnot. And so we're here, it's handicapping them. We're giving them handicaps on a golf course, basically. Like every 5 seconds, we can't say this, you can't say that, that hurts my feelings, I'm this and that. And I'm not saying anything against mental health, because we all need to really deep dive into mental health big time. That shouldn't be a taboo amongst our community. However, we shouldn't be so soft that every little thing breaks us when somebody says something.
Relationships,
and
all these internet relationships, and half these comments, even like what we were just talking about, all this stuff on the internet. We got to be able to pick up a phone and call people and talk things out. And you see that Milton can't even handle a heavier, not even a heavy, but a heavier conversation, because I just think that we are spending way too much time on the internet, and our younger people are not even able to differentiate having a real conversation from internet and BS. And I think we all did a good job. And I think Kojo's crew, we did a good job of separating YouTube from reality. But even there, a lot of times I see people not understand YouTube versus reality. in a real life friendship versus a YouTube friendship, and not
Mhm.
knowing when, not saying they can't merge, and they have and they do, but a lot of times you can't differentiate the levels of connection and intimacy because we're spending so much time behind the screen.
But what happens is we grew up at a time before YouTube.
Right.
Mhm.
We grew up at a time when you were out in the street seeing if that person really is your friend indeed.
Mhm.
They're growing up with a time of Twitter fingers, and what you say and what you type, not what you say, but what you type
Is
is what's reality. I had to check my 16-year-old. It was like my friend so-and-so. I homeschool. So he's like, my friend so-and-so. And I was like, that's not your friend. That may be somebody you play the game online with, but how has he shown up as a friend to you? I had to pull that break back, and it's like, playing them little PlayStation games don't mean they're your friend. So they've grown up in a way where their definition of building a relationship is different. They decide building a relationship, what you typed is your word, and you are my friend, and they run with that, and that ain't it.
That's real.
Mhm.
Get caught up in these comments. I think what Trey Mack is saying, I think mentally you're seeing some. I think mentally is what you're referring to of him coming off as an old soul. He does have some ways about him that appears to be mature, and he seems intelligent, and he seems to know how to hold a conversation. But I'm not sure if that's fully means he's mentally mature.
Yeah,
he's dealing with his mortality.
Mm-hmm.
He's dealing with his mortality more than anything.
And he said it himself that he's emotionally immature. He labeled Lydia as more mature than he is. So that, I mean, I'm saying that that was his words, not mine. So that tells us exactly where he is emotionally or whatnot. That's because you could tell he's awkward, socially awkward. He doesn't interact with people too much outside of what his comfort zone is, which would be geology. So him and human contact is not a big thing. That plays into being a Gen Z, that you're indoors, you're playing these games all day, you're on the computer, you're on IG, Twitter, or whatever, you're watching TV, you're not interacting with people. I don't know if he's an only child or not, but that would play even more. Then we talked about it last time with him being from Japan, a Black man in Japan, living there. So you're more isolated there too. You barely bonding with people there. You're taller than everybody. You're always standing out for some reason, and it isolates you. And he's just been living isolated. So emotionally, a lot of times, if I'm by myself, I don't have to mature. That's why we see Kanye acting the way he does. He's an only child. He has nobody else to bounce it off of.
Wait a minute. Let me just stand up for the only children. Wait a minute.
I'm not talking about the only children, but I'm saying, like, sometimes
don't get shine on here.
Only child. Technically, I'm an only child. Like, but when you don't have people to bounce off of, you don't have those connections. We had outside connections. You make friends. You got cousins. Sweetheart, he don't have. He's not giving me. I'm bonding with a lot of people on a regular.
Yeah, he's isolated, and he ain't got nobody to talk to, and he's in his own country. He doing good to turn out the way he is at this point.
For 24 to be 24 and making good money and good away for himself, he's doing good, yes. But as far as human contact and being with others, he got a lot of growth. And I don't know if he's an only child, so don't take it to the heart, El Cid. He might not even be an only child, you know what I'm saying?
He is giving only child syndrome, but
he's definitely giving only child. I know the only children
sometimes.
They be mad when we say it, but we can spot y'all. He's only.
They're gonna have interesting conversations with that ice chest and that cooler because that generation vocabulary, that's gonna be off the chain.
That's so crazy that 6 years makes a big difference too. On how much difference we are. Like that's crazy to me, because I'm I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of two different generations, and it's weird sometimes to be there because talking to my dad and them, and then talking to like my daughter is it's weird sometimes. It's definitely a difference. And granted, that's a big age difference between them two. But I meet people in between both of their ages, and it's still a big difference. It's a communication barrier sometimes talking to the two.
It's 4 generations in the house in the holidays. My grandmother's still around. So speaking of her, she was in the 40s, my mother, and it's like even the kids, I gotta translate for them. What's grandma saying? What's great grandma saying? It's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just interested in the vocabulary when she sends him to the kitchen to find something.
That's gonna be funny.
Child, I hope she had patience too, because she's not giving it that she got Eddie. Okay.
All I gotta say, she was riding that bee a little too hard.
I unfortunately, I just really don't feel I'm with Seaway. I don't really feel she's choosing Milton for the right reasons. I think she's just choosing it so she can come back and see Uche in person one last time. That's where I'm going with her on that. Just like I feel like Johnny would do anything to get with anybody so she can go see Izzy in person. So we will see. We will see. Stacey and Izzy.
Like that pantsuit.
She came in with that one. I was like, come on, business girl. I see you came to play. I mean, you didn't come to play, huh? Like, sis, she came in with the business.
I like Stacey. I think they try to act like she was going to be unlikable. She's cool.
She said, I'm going to watch all of them fall off. She's my dark player. She played Izzy well. Let's just say it. She came out on top, and I think she played it well.
So far,
I mean, she made him choose her. Mm-hmm. She made him choose her, and she didn't do no pick me stuff. She didn't say I love you because he wanted me to. She wasn't crying down in the ladies' lounge. She made him pick her, and I love that for her.
Mm-hmm.
I like her, and she gave Lydia some good advice.
She said her biggest fear is abandonment, which is kind of like with his is. However, the way she moves with hers is very mature because she sits back and she's going to see if you deserve to be anywhere in her life.
She can't be slapping men's butts at the bar now. Pretty privilege.
Well, the way Izzy seemed to be like he going to be moving, she might be back at the bar slapping some butts soon.
She's gonna be done with Izzy. Watch. She's gonna be done with Izzy. She don't need Izzy. Izzy need her more than she need Izzy. That lady already told you she done went 3 years, 4 years without a man, and she'll go 3 more. She good.
When she said, "Oh, you want me to turn around? Okay, let me give you the full effect. Let me walk away. Give you the spin." Izzy can't handle her.
Mm-mm. Izzy gonna fall apart. Izzy gonna fall apart.
Izzy is going to do everything he is afraid of because I think the person who said it the best was Johnny. He is emotionally unavailable. She called him that too, but I agree with her. He is emotionally unavailable because first of all, when you have a person, now granted, we said it last time, Lydia was not that person because she was too all in too soon, but she was all in the way he really wants somebody to be all in for him. And he didn't want that. Stacey is not all in, but he was scared at first to go in. He wanted her to be more vulnerable. He get Johnny to be more vulnerable. And then when Johnny go all in, he like, yeah, no, I don't want that. So he is one of them type of people that will wait till you get all in and say, you know what, this is too much for me. I don't really want this or whatnot. And I think that's what he's going to try to pull with Stacey. And I think he's going to think he's there with her to be able to feel like he can do whatever he want to do. And he's going to sabotage himself by doing everything he's afraid of, which is somebody abandoning him, leaving him, and causing distrust in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I see a lot of myself in Stacey, and Stacey is going to hold her cards to her chest, and I don't think she's going to open up to him. And it's because of one, how he's been opening up. But because, like I said yesterday, he's an emotional F-boy. The way he's going through things. And it could be because, as he said, a restricted childhood. He may be now out and just living life wild. But Stacy is not going to be the safe space or the soft space for him to land when he needs it. She's going to be like, go get a shot, come back when you wipe your face off, and we could get this cracking. I don't think she's emotionally there with him. Whether she's emotionally mature, we don't know.
She said it in the pause. She said, I'm not built for this emotional stuff. and I mean, it's the reserve that she has. That's her wall up for her. She fears abandonment. You know, for whatever reason, she fears it. And so she's going to keep that wall up to say, we're not going to get too vulnerable. We're not going to get too tied into one another until for sure, I know you are that for me. And I'm not opening up jack crap. And you can keep half of yours to yourself, to be honest with you.
She said abandonment, and he said loving somebody more than they love him. So
bad combination. I wouldn't want to be with a man that's afraid of loving somebody more than he loves them. I wouldn't want to be with you anyway.
Nope.
Because love is never, it's very rarely balanced. And even when it's balanced, it's not balanced for long. It's a seesaw. So at some point, one of us is going to be loving the other a little bit more. And all you want to do is just stay on that seesaw and it keeps going. That's what you actually really want. That's how I look at it. I mean, others could look at it differently, but I can't see us both just loving each other equally. I ain't never seen a person love somebody else equally. I have yet to see one relationship do it. Now, from the outside, it may look like they love each other equally, but one of them loves the other a bit more. So if he don't be waiting all day,
I need you to love me more.
Exactly. And you know, Jasiwe jumped up. She knows it too. But exactly, I need you to love me a little bit more. As a man, I need you to love me a little bit more, especially when there's a plethora of women out here for you to choose from. Because for me, you loving me just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be off the scale balance. I don't want you to love me I don't want you to be on Lydia's level of loving me. Mm-mm. Okay, I can't have you way over there because I can guarantee I'm gonna be like you, Shay. I can't give it to you back. Mm-hmm. I cannot give it to you back. I need you to be somewhere in the middle where I can meet you. But I need you to be a little bit higher than me because then I know every day you're choosing to love me and choosing to be with me and not all your other choices. If I love you more, you got all them other choices. Now you can go freely knowing that you got me in your back pocket. Play with all your other choices. Nah, we ain't about to do that. We ain't about to do it. So.
Well, he did choose her.
Mm-hmm. He did. And now he's where he's afraid of, which is going to have him doing some dumb stuff. That's why I said I will fear a man that says that he's afraid of loving me more because eventually you're going to do that and you're going to end up doing some dumb stuff behind it. Because your fear is going to lead you to, oh, I need to go outside and I need to do this, or I need to go see something's going on over here, or whatever the case may be. Your fear is going to start running your decisions. And I don't want a person that's running off of fear-based decisions.
One thing that I remember is, remember when Uche was saying sometimes your second choice is what you need more? Mm-hmm. And I saw Izzy's face and I was like, I hope he's not going to choose Johnny. But he was certainly thinking hard when Uche said that. And it wasn't to him. It was to somebody else. And they just, shady camera guy just did a close-up on Izzy. And Izzy looked like a deer in the headlights. Like
Izzy don't know what he wants.
Mm-mm.
He don't know what he wants. And we gonna see that in info. Was it whatever the high HD
high def?
We gonna see that soon. I'm gonna pop off, y'all. My head is killing me. I'm still recovering from A little
Drink some more water.
That shall not be named.
Sorry. If there's Ready to Love Tonight, I probably will not be on it. So.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it is.
Try to pop on. Because we're gonna need you to make it go, because it's ain't much. We're gonna be having another one of these conversations where we're talking about other things.
I'll send a proxy in a moment the way I feel.
Right.
All right.
Send me your proxy, Z-Way.
All right, bye, girl.
I know you would say what I would say, because you can do it. You just got to add a little bit more pick-me's to it.
Yeah, add a little zhuzh, add a pick-me zhuzh.
And come at Sean.
And come at Sean. You know,
make sure you put the quote and pick me quote so we can make sure we say it properly. You pick me's.
My mama hate when I go on my rant. She's like, everybody's gonna pick me to you. Because I call her male sympathizer and I call my abuela a male identifier. I get all of them too. They get it too. It's not just they know. They're like, what are you, Christian?
There's no pick me discrimination with you.
Oh no, I get my own mama. So y'all think I'm gonna spare y'all? You got another thing coming.
I understand. I'm the same.
Well identified. So I don't know what's gonna happen with y'all. So
equal opportunity shots.
All right.
All right, later. Oh, child. But yes, he proposed to her. So here we are. What you thought about them seeing each other though in the meeting when they first seen each other?
I think he was more into her than she was to him. Again, mm-hmm. I think she thought he was aesthetically pleasing, but she wasn't wowed.
Yeah,
she wasn't going to, make the comment about his bald head or whatever. But I think he was really, and she stepped away, did a little twirl, did the whole, this is what you are, being blessed with. I am gracing you with my presence, and please kiss my Converse because I am blessing you with my presence.
What stood out for me is that, and granted, she said her legs wasn't shaved, but every time he was rubbing on her, touching on her, she was just like, she got that Heisman arm real quick, like, bruh, all right. And I mean, she wasn't trying to be rude, so sometimes she let him do it. But I was just like, yeah, I know that one right there. Like, nah, you slow down, sir. Slow down. Like,
handsy.
Right. Rule number 1, hands to yourself.
Well, the slit was high, so he may have seen it as an invitation on Arrow, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but she checked him.
But they were equal in the kissing back and forth and stuff. And the one weirdest thing though, because I was like, oh, okay, she was reaching around to touch him, but then she was kind of like hovering for a second too. I was like, what's happening here?
He was smelling her. He was smelling her.
And I, do you want to? She was like. I was like, I hope there's some attraction here because it's giving it cringe a little bit. I was like, what is happening? Do y'all, yes, no, maybe.
And I'm sorry. Isn't not shaving your legs a sign of, not that interested? I didn't get myself together for you for a first meeting?
Generally, I am one of them for a first meeting. Like right now, I'm kind of Wolverine over here because it's a little cold.
But you wore the slit. You should have worn the pantsuit then.
Yeah, you really should have. But I mean, first impression, I'm trying to get these ladies. Now, you might, if I did a quick shave, you might get little stubbles here and there and stuff, or whatnot. But I guess this new generation, we're just gonna come as I is, and if you like it, okay, cool.
But that's the old generation. That's the hairy monster generation.
Okay, well, I'm not really sure what's happening. I definitely was gonna shave the legs. I mean, if I'm putting them on camera, I'm definitely gonna have them like smooth as possible. At least quick shave if I can't get the wax in. So.
And it's your first meeting. You're wearing a huge slit showing the leg.
And the
Yeah.
cameraman zoomed in, so I got to see some of the stuff. I'm like, cameraman, back up.
Cameraman's, I'll make sure we catch these braids.
We want to see if she's telling the truth. But I did like they joke for banter back and forth because she was like, I washed
Yes.
my hair for you. And he was like, me too. And stuff. I was like, okay, y'all might be able to go somewhere. But the previews disappointed me, Chad. I was like, okay, I had some high hopes.
So to go back to another funny thing, Aaliyah, when she said, if you showering, I'm a peep.
I was disappointed in his reaction to it. Because I'm a peep. I want to peep into it. You know, I might.
He didn't say join me.
He didn't say join, man. He was like, he was kind of like a no.
You're right.
Don't be watching me shower. It's like, say what now? I need to know if you getting your back or not. Like, I need to see. I need to see if you hitting the spots. I need to know if you watch between your toes and your belly button. I need to know. Don't tell me not to pee. But that makes me feel like you just dipping in the water and jumping out.
Right, run in the water.
Like,
and it could be a way of seeing what you're working with. I mean, she's telling him, if we make it to Mexico, you showering, I'ma look.
Yeah. But if you expect us to be doing some things, why can't I see you? I'm you saying I'm your forever. Why can I not see you?
Or join you.
Problem?
Or join you.
Yeah.
It seems like the bathroom was off limits if I'm in it. Don't come in.
Yeah, because she didn't even say like I like to stand there and watch. She didn't go in my route because I will stand there and watch. But she didn't go there. She was just like, I like to peep. Like, you know, hey, walk by.
Yeah. I'm not peeping. I'm looking. I may give you some commentary.
I might even help you.
Well, we just met past the wall. I ain't helping you yet.
Oh,
but I'm a look.
I was past all them points of the helping. I was past all we just met and stuff. Because if I'm looking at you in the shower, we more than just met now.
Oh no, I'm gonna look if we in Mexico in this scenario. I'm gonna look. It's like,
yeah.
Okay. Can't wait till get on that ride. But I'm gonna say some things. I'm gonna get into your head first before other head.
That was very disappointing for him. I was like, say what now? You can't come in the bathroom while I'm showering. You made it seem like she was saying while you on the toilet or something like that. Like, that's a whole different thing. But she said, why you taking a shower? She could.
He sounded like Lindsay from Married at First Sight. She didn't want you in the bathroom, nothing.
Yeah, like, but she a woman, so she might have to put her whole face on before you see her. That's a different thing. What you got to put on for me that I can't come in this shower to see you? Like, sir.
Is he anyway? My speculation, my mind will go wild. Are you hiding your package?
Please don't. And I know. And listen. I'm old enough to know some people are growers and not showers, and that's okay.
Hey, we can work.
But do you got some scar you don't want me to see? Like, are you like Jared, where you got this thing that you're insecure?
You had a trip. You had a trip to Mexico. You have that tattoo. You don't want anybody to see.
Just let me know. I'm gonna be in there though. I probably won't even tell you I'm gonna be in there. You're just gonna hear the door open and see me standing over the shower. So
no, I'm not standing over the shower now.
It depends on how I gotta look in there. If you ain't got the curtain, I gotta look over the thing. I gotta get on the toilet and stand over.
I'm gonna just open the curtain.
No, I'm talking about if you ain't got the curtain, them sliding doors. I ain't about to open the door and get wet. I'm just gonna stand over there like my cat do.
You won't have to open if the package is right. You ain't got to open the door to get wet.
First of all, if the package is right, you ain't gonna be hiding it from me. You gonna be ready to show me that thing, okay? I'm just saying, if the package is with its packaging, you gonna be ready for me to unpackage it. So
yeah, that knocked up my spidey senses because men who are blessed by the Lord don't hide their blessings.
Child, I can go on IG right now and show y'all a few of them that's gonna show you through the packaging what they package.
But
Like, sir,
I
calm
thought it
down.
was cute what she said, but he was like, no, there'll be no look-sees.
Oh, it was.
But I guess a
and-
man is protecting his modesty. How about that? We can go with a man not trying to be objectified, and he is trying to, make sure that there's some mystery, and we're not going too fast. He is, trying to build the relationship from the inside out.
Okay, this is the same man that don't want to tell me that he just slept with somebody 3 months ago, but gonna shame me for my 2-year indiscretion. Okay. This is probably, you know what? This is probably why she left. She started really thinking about everything. This man done shaved me, won't let me look at him in the shower. Told me the only weird thing he got is OCD and want to adjust some things around.
Now, my husband is that picture framer. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm that too. And I got one in the house right now that's off because the cat keep moving it. And I'm like, look, you about to piss me off. You ain't gonna piss me off, little cat. Okay, leave it alone. But it's by the cat post. It's a little picture by the cat post, and he keep messing with it. I'm like, bro.
See, Trey's like, he ain't hiding his blessings.
You know. Well, why we ain't seen it yet, Trey?
Hey. Do not get demonetized here.
Trey, you come backstage. No, you ain't got to come on camera. No, I'm gonna leave it alone, Trey. I don't want you to get in trouble.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
Oh, child.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Yeah. We're gonna see what's going on. So we got our couples. So it's JP and Taylor.
Yep.
Izzy and Stacy.
Yes.
Lydia and Milton.
Yes.
And possibly Uche and Aaliyah. Possibly. We don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe. So
Keep pulling a Zach. I'm a swing back and get you.
No, we're not in After Dark. No, we ain't not After Dark. Okay, that's why I told Trey don't come backstage. No link will be sent. I'm not sending the link. We are behaving. We just joking, y'all. We just joking.
Yeah, I just thought it was just odd. Odd.
Yeah. We're gonna see because it's gonna be some mixing around and some stuff because it sounds like Lydia's still trying to get Uche back. It sounds like Johnny's still trying to make her way to Izzy somehow, some way, because I've seen a couple of clips where she was there, I guess, professing her love. But that's what makes me think that her and Chris somehow are back on there together, and not just for the meeting.
Let's give a shout out to the shady editor for Netflix. They always give us the tea when it's truly hot and steeped, because they waited till the bomb dropped to show us Uche and Lydia first meet. They waited. They held on to that. They let us
held on to that.
Go. It's like the cutie story. They took us all the way, and then after the reunion and after the credits, we got the cutie story.
Yeah.
So they did that. Then they're doing the same thing with Chris and Johnny. They're going to wait till after to show us what transpired with them.
How we get back to them and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That editor or who's pacing this needs to be hired by Ready to Love.
They can't afford them.
Outsourcing basis.
They can't afford them, baby. That own check is not hitting like that Netflix check right now, okay? Because Netflix editors is doing the damn thing. I'll say that much. They doing the damn thing. They is giving us what needs to be given when it needs to be gave. They are definitely doing the damn thing, okay?
Now, one thing along that questioning, I've always wondered, are we really seeing the conversations as they happen? Because we see you in a pod, we see you in the other pod. Is that how the conversation went down? Because you're filming it separately.
You just have to look at the clothing.
No, but we see Lydia in one outfit. We see Milton in another outfit. Do we know that that's the conversation? You know how it is. We just got
The
to
only
trust
times
them.
I can tell that it's made possibly because it's still a zoom out where they do the overhead shot and they zoom out from overhead.
Right.
So that's the only time that you can say possibly it is the proper conversation. It seems to be because the conversations stay aligned a lot and they tend to show you the person while they're talking a lot of times.
It's only when I don't see him, I question it. Because when we were hearing Milton talk, I don't have an ice chest, whatever, but sometimes you would hear the other person and not see them. Yeah. I was like, okay, did this conversation or this response happen?
The only time I question it is when they're inside the lounges and you know how the ladies come back or the men come back from a date that didn't go well or whatever, and they pan over to the other person as if they're in the room and possibly hearing. So sometimes that's what I question those. I know we got some of them to be true last year because we've seen them trying to sneak in to hear the conversation, but like the one where Johnny came back and basically was talking about Izzy broke up with her and they panned over to Stacy. It's like, is Stacy really there at that time? Because I didn't see anybody on the couch when she first walked in.
Right.
And I can't really see Johnny saying anything in front of Stacy like that.
Right.
So those moments for me is when it's just the B-roll is going on and it goes in, but
they're a delight. They're a delight. That is definitely one of my favorite things. I'm like, what are they going to show us next? But I have to say the gentlemen from the continent are, batting a 0 for 4 or 0 for 3. Well, Kwame is a success in his marriage, but his whole identity thing was questionable.
Yeah.
But I'm like, at least Uche came in and I'm Uche.
Well, when he got found out, he had no other reason. He couldn't change it after that. He like, damn it, I should have used it. He probably like, I should have used a nickname.
Sorry.
She found me out fast. I should have used a nickname. Damn it. But yeah. Well, we'll be back, I guess, Saturday. What is it? The 29th is the next episode. I think it's the 29th. Let me see what Netflix.
That's a Friday.
Yeah, I think that should make sense then on a Friday. That's the next episode. So Saturday, I will be back. I want to make promises. I have to come back. I'm going to make the thumbnail. I'm going to make a thumbnail so I can be back. I got to stay consistent, y'all. I'm trying. I'm working on this. We're doing it. I'm not trying. I am doing it. We're staying consistent, y'all. Y'all staying with me. I love y'all for this. Y'all bear with me through these 2 hours. Me and El Cid and C-Way. Thank you guys for joining us. You guys bear with us through it. Y'all have no idea how much I love y'all for rolling with me like this. I appreciate every last one of y'all. I'm gonna have to figure out a name for us. I was thinking about AR, but then I don't want y'all to be assault rifles out here and popping off on everybody. But actually, that might be a good thing. It might be the pop off squad. We might have to figure it out. I like a good pop off myself, but I have to figure out something so I can have my little stands too, like the millimeters and the beehives and stuff. I want mine too. I want my people.
The rounders sound good.
I was thinking about that too, but it was like that old school, I see, I was thinking about that, but it was giving me old school country. It was giving me old school country. I have to figure it out. It just might be my circle. Because it's another round. It's about these circles and breaking circles. And I don't want to break y'all. But we might just be like, my circle, my round. I might, my rounds. I don't know. We're going to figure out. We're going to get a name for us. Okay. We're going to get us a name. We're going to get us, everybody got theirs. Carlos King got his peoples. I want my people. My people. My O's. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I appreciate you guys for standing with us through this live for Love is Blind. If you are here watching this on a replay, please do me a favor. Leave a comment down below. Let us know that you was here. Show us some love. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, until the next time, I really don't know what to tell y'all, but, get your lives together. Shoot, because it's crazy out here. Or, if you don't want to choose nobody to be with you and you choosing us, that's good too. I don't know. I'll figure out something. I don't know. Y'all know me. I'll just be in the wind with mine. But until then, peace and love.
Now,